Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 33 of Pints and Quarts, a show presented by Craft Beer Nation and our new sponsor, craftbeveragejobs.com. Tonight, we've got as our guest Mother Road Brewing's own Dan Choiniere. He is the beer ambassador, or Brewhouse Ambassador for Mother Road Brewing out of Flagstaff, Arizona, and they've got lots of great stuff going on. So join us, come back here after the music, and we'll talk with Dan.
Time now for a look back at the last week in the craft beer industry. Pour a cold one and sit back for an all-new episode of Pints and Quarts, presented by Craft Beer Nation.
That's right, folks. We are back with Dan Choiniere from Mother Road Brewing here, and you might notice my voice is a little bit gone tonight, so if it doesn't make it for 30 minutes, I really apologize. But we've got some other vocal quality people here on the show. We've got Victoria Perrigan, Randy Gardner Jr., Charles Dunkley, Gil Mello. They were dancing through the theme music there. If you're watching us on YouTube, everybody was getting down and funky. And of course, Dan Choiniere. Dan, welcome. Thanks for joining us. And tell us a little bit about your journey with Mother Road.
Thanks for having me, guys. I'm super excited to be here. I got started in beer as a home brewer, like a lot of people, making my beer. From that, I was a stay-at-home dad, lots of spare time. To keep me busy, when my youngest son went to preschool, I got a job at Bev.mo, which is a big liquor store here locally. Within 6 weeks, I was promoted to running the beer department there. And through that and through a mutual friend, I met Michael Marquez, the co-founder of Mother Road Brewing Company. I was running the beer department. He owned a brewery. Bugged him long enough, and they brought me on almost a year ago.
That's almost how everybody gets their job in the brewing business, right? They know somebody and they bug them until they hire them. So, yeah, that's great. Well, tell us a little bit about Mother Road, where they've come from, what some of their highlights are, and where they plan to go.
So, Mother Road Brewing Company, Michael and Alyssa Marquez, they're our co-founders. It started on a dark stretch of highway coming back from Colorado. Michael was an appraiser. It was during the boom days. Things were crazy. They pulled over, and Alyssa said, something's got to change. Either you're going to die of a heart attack from all the stress, or I'm going to kill you because you've become unbearable to live with. Why don't we start that craft brewery that you've always wanted to? So like any good man knows, when your wife tells you it's time to open up a craft brewery, you go ahead and do it right away.
Right. Well, open the brewery or I'm going to kill you.
Or before she changes her mind, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Funny little thing happened around 2007 with the economy. It wasn't really the best time to be opening a new business. So even though he bought the new brew house, it sat in a barn in Sedona, Arizona for a couple years, just hanging out, waiting till the right time came along. Now, Michael always described himself as a hack home brewer, somebody who was good enough to make beer for him and his buddies, but he knew that if he ever reached that dream and opened up a brewery, he was going to need somebody with the schooling, the experience to really make the beer that other people wanted to drink as well. Well, it just so happened at that time, one of the people from the homebrew club in Flagstaff, Urs Reiner, announced that he was heading off to UC Davis to go to brew school. Now, with a name like Urs Reiner, you were born to make beer. It was kind of kind of in your birthright.
That's all you have to put on your application to beer school, I think.
Yep. So he headed off to UC Davis. He graduated, and when he came back, it was right about the time when they were ready to go ahead and open up the brewery. So November 17th, 2011, on the original route of Route 66, in this 1920 steam laundry building, they opened up the doors. Mother Road became a brewery, and we've been kicking since then.
That's awesome.
That's an awesome story.
What were the first beers that they put out?
Excuse me. So when we launched with some core beers. Roadside's an American-style pale ale. It's hoppy, but it's not bitter. 5%. It was kind of ahead of the whole session IPA craze. That's probably our favorite beer at the brewery, too. The one we'll go home at the end of a long day. We'll crack open a couple of those. Another beer was Gold Road. Gold Road is a Kolsch-style ale. So it's a Kolsch style. To be a true Kolsch beer, it has to be made in Cologne, Germany. Obviously, we don't make our beer in Cologne. We make it in Flagstaff. So it's a Kolsch style. There's ales and there's lagers. And it all depends on the type of yeast that's used. A Kolsch is brewed with an ale yeast, but it's fermented like a lager, which just means that it's brewed or it's fermented at a colder temperature for a longer period of time. Finishes very crisp, very clean. It's a great gateway craft beer. It's a great lawnmower beer. It's a great beer for drinking when it's 85 degrees outside like it is today.
Well, it's not 85 in Central Virginia today, but I've got one of the Gold Roads in a glass here, and it is it's bright, it's crisp. There's relatively no hop aroma to it, but the malt definitely makes you think of the Kolsch style ale. So you guys have hit the description right on the head there.
Thank you. Yeah, the Kolsch was Cologne's answer to the hoppy Czech Pilsner of the time. So
Right.
instead of using a lager yeast, ale yeast, we've got some nice peach notes. I like the breadiness, the maltiness in the beer. It's a great beer.
Yeah. Dan, are you rethinking the idea of doing this from a bar right now? Are you thinking
Thinking
better
idea
of
of
that
what?
decision? Are you thinking better
From
of
doing
the
it from a bar?
your notes? Yeah, you're getting accosted by the college kids behind you. I think, so.
No, these most of these are actually the co-workers. These are the people that work in the brewery.
So
well, then they
is
enjoy
that
their
your
yeah,
This guy over here, Adam, he's our cellar man. He's also the president of operations, so he's the one that makes sure that we have all the ingredients, everything that we need to actually make the beer. So yeah, they're guy over my shoulder here, Francis and Jordan. They work in the brew house as well, cleaning kegs, helping with wort production on brew days, filtering. These are the guys that make it run. They make the beer. I sell the beer. It's a great system.
So is that Coach your flagship beer, or what's your flagship beer?
The pale
He said
ale.
the APA.
So when we first started, we thought that Roadside, the pale ale, was going to be our flagship beer, the beer that everybody would drink. It didn't turn out that way. I mean, it does well for us, but our number one selling beer is Lost Highway. Lost Highway is a black IPA. It was never supposed to be a real beer for us either. It came out of the brewery as a one-off. Brewers used to experiment on a homebrew system, making 10 or 20 gallons at a time. A keg snuck out to an account. We had to rebrew it again. It's our number one selling beer now.
It's funny how your customers can dictate what is good and what they want. So, Victoria, what were you getting ready to say?
I said it's my favorite that they make. It's a great beer.
So I want to say kudos to you guys for having one goal, an initial goal in mind, and then listening to your customers and deciding to steer away to what the people were actually buying and making that your flagship beer. So what's your distribution? I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. No, go ahead.
What's your? I was going to ask you about your distribution footprint, but you can go ahead and say what you were going to say just now.
I was just going to say, we make the beer, and we can make all the beer we want, but if people aren't buying it, and it just sits there. So that goes to making the Lost Highway. And it's our most expensive beer to make, but it's our number one seller. It's complex. It's layered. You get chocolate, you get coffee, you get tobacco. Think of it like a hoppy stout. In fact, this right here, this is the man who makes the magic. This is Urs Reiner, the brewmaster. We let him out of the brewery every now and then. He said it's a bad idea to let him out of the brewery.
What's your distribution footprint right now?
Our distribution footprint right now, we are just in Arizona. So you can buy our beer all over the state of Arizona. The eventual 10-year plan for the brewery, It's to stretch through all 8 states. Stretches through from Chicago to LA. Route 66, the Mother Road, kind of plays into our branding, our name. It works perfect. And it's, I can let you guys know a secret if you like.
Go for
What
it.
about secrets?
Well, it's not. All right, so next month in March, we're actually going to be launching the first leg of that journey. If you live in New Mexico, you're going to start being able to get our beer.
Awesome.
Yay!
Yeah.
So we're really excited about that.
What kind of what size brew house do you operate on to be able to produce beer for 2 states now?
We are in a 15-barrel brew house. Last January, we upgraded our fermentation space. Right now, we have 5 30-barrel fermenters. So they'll either come in and brew on back-to-back days and fill it up halfway and then brew the same batch the next day, or they'll brew a double batch. So they'll come in at 4 o'clock in the morning and they'll be there till 9, 10 o'clock at night.
Long day.
Yeah.
It is.
So with ambition to stretch all along Route 66, I imagine you guys must have some plans in to upgrade and expand your brew house again. I mean, probably I would guess maybe doubling your fermentation space and maybe putting in another 15 barrel kettle or something, right?
Because of the constraints of our building where we're at, the 1920 brew house, right now we share the building with a bike shop and a pizza oven, or a pizza shop, wood-fired pizza place. So we're kind of constrained right now, but we're in talks with the city about expanding. There's always the option of outside fermenters, doing those, growing a fermenter farm out in the parking lot.
Wow, so
Right now, though, if we add any more fermenters inside the tap room, our brew house manager, Sharon, has told Michael that she's gonna cut his balls off if he takes any more of her space.
All right. If you weren't watching, he said a little prayer. He did a little Hail Mary, Our Father before he said that.
So if you guys put a fermentation farm or fermenter farm in the parking lot, you guys are gonna keep the glycol people in business, man. Because I mean, it's February and it's 75 degrees. You said.
Well, so I live in Phoenix. I live about 2 hours south of the brewery because I cover the whole state of Arizona. Up in Flagstaff, today it was 65 up in Flagstaff. But I live in Phoenix because I get down to Tucson, which is another 2 hours south of me. It just makes it easier to cover the whole state.
Gotcha.
Dan, can you tell us about the pilot system that Mother Road put in last year?
Yeah, so Lost Highway came out of Urs messing around with the homebrew system. Brewing is science. You need to be able to make the same thing over and over again. But it's also an art. The brewmasters are artists, and sometimes they get bored. So we wanted to give Urs a way to where he could experiment, he could come up with new ideas and really flex those muscles. So last September, we added a 3-barrel pilot system that's actually built on scaffolding up on top of the brew house. So it's up over top the whirlpool. You're just kind of hanging out in the middle of the room. And he can brew 3-barrel pilot systems or batches. We've done, recently we did a redheaded stepchild, a ginger IPA. We did a blonde coffee stout that pours this color, a beautiful golden color. You close your eyes and it's all coffee and roast. It really messes with the mind. It's kind of amazing.
Wow, ginger IPA sounds amazing.
I wish I could have tried that.
Yeah, you're going to get to, Vicky. It's going to be, we're sending a couple of kegs around for Beer Week.
Awesome. Yay.
Call me jealous.
Yeah, really. So there's a good reason for everybody to get out and go to Arizona Beer Week locations through Arizona this coming week or this week, starting today, right? You might find lots of one-offs from all the breweries that are participating. So
definitely.
What else have we got for him? All right. Well, let's talk a little bit about news. We're going to come back to Dan. He's going to pitch in on these things too, but we also have a news story specific about him. But Victoria, why don't you start with the headlines from about women in beer?
Well, so there's been a couple stories going around about women and their expanding numbers in craft beer. And according to the Brewers Association, women are consuming about 30% of the craft beer in the market, and that's growing all the time. So it's kind of exciting that women are growing numbers in the craft beer community. And that makes me kind of proud to be part of Girls Pine Out here in Tucson. And I think that, that only adds to women being interested in brewing themselves and maybe joining a brewery as a brewmaster and that kind of stuff. So I think it's pretty cool.
And I think that they, Vicky, in that article, they spoke specifically, I think, about, what was it, Wisconsin or something like that? It seems like there's a lot of, women are drinking beer in every state, but it seems more so that they're taking, like, leadership positions or, ownership positions or head brewer positions at a lot of breweries, specifically in Wisconsin. So that's a really cool and unique thing to Wisconsin, huh?
Yeah, it's pretty exciting that they're making those inroads into a pretty much male-dominated industry. So that's cool.
I think they were referring mostly to New Glarus, but there's other thing. There's other women that been around on craft. I think this is one of the very important things that differentiate craft beer from your big breweries or whatever breweries is. I think craft brewery brought women back into the beer world. Give them opportunity. I mean, we talked to Kim Jordan last week, but we talked to Nicole Ernie. Is that they got her name right?
Nicole Ernie, yeah.
Nicole Ernie. Yeah, she runs. Yeah, she's one of the person that is responsible for the Cicerone certification program. But there, Lost Abbey has Gwen Conley. And then we talked to Stone Brewery's Laura Ulrich. I'm getting everybody's name terribly wrong, but my point. Like Veronica Vegas from The Shoot, Megan Parisi from Blue Jack, right near Randy there.
She used to be from Blue Jacket.
She's not there anymore?
She's been gone for like a year now.
Oh, I didn't know that. But she was there. I mean, she was a assistant brewer or something there, right?
She wasn't there very long, I don't think.
I think Dan's got a thought on this.
I was just going to say Four Peaks Brewing Company, the largest brewery in Arizona. Melissa Osborne is one of their head brewers there. And she basically runs a whole facility of one of their brew houses.
Yep.
And Sam Calione from Dogfish Head, he mentioned Mariah, his wife, so many times, like how they would not be where they are if it wasn't for her as well. So I think that's a big thing that the craft brewery did that I respect a lot, and I think that you lose when you get, the big breweries still have this stigma, and that's a big problem you have when you watch their commercial. Everybody talks about the Super Bowl commercial, but to me, what really hurts me, if you watch half of the whatever big breweries commercial, is very sexist and very use women as an object rather than a part of the beer world. And I think that's a big thing going for craft brewing. In part, what I like craft brewing, I love the segment of any drinking content. So
I love that craft beer is making an effort to overcome that barrier, and it's so frustrating to watch Super Bowl commercials that are just constantly reinforcing it. I mean, just the bikini-clad, men-only club kind of mentality that goes along with the Budweiser and Miller ads is just it's blindingly frustrating. And I guess all you can do is try to do it the right way and hope that wins out. So.
Well, I think that buying. I'm sorry, Dan. Go ahead.
I was just going to say that's one of the things that I love about craft beer. It's not male, it's not female, it's community. It brings people together from, it doesn't matter who you are, who you vote for, you love craft
Yep. And
Exactly.
I
And
was
you can't be
speaking.
naive. You can't be naive to think there is not such a problem among craft beer either. There is that problem among craft beer drinkers, but it's just at least there's a voice where women can come out, in all social media and even on the business segment itself. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, but it appears that the big breweries are just deciding that they're not going to ever capture the female market, so they continue to market to the base. It's if you're really conservative, you just keep talking really conservative and hope that it makes you some money. But the craft beer movement seems to say, you know what, there are. If we market only to men, we only got an opportunity to get to 50% of the people that live in this country and are willing to drink this product. So. So I think it's the coming of a new age, and hopefully we can just ruin some of those old ways of doing things. Actually, we're talking about advertisements here. Charles, talk real quick about Congress getting involved, which is always a bad idea. But
Yeah.
Yeah, there's actually there was an article, I think it was the Daily Beast or something, where they were talking about how the Budweiser ad has spurred a fight in Congress. But it's actually a lot more complicated than that. There's the Small Brewers Act, which is trying to change some of the excise tax to not hurt small breweries. They don't have to pay the level that like the big breweries pay. And now you have another lobbyist group that's introduced their Beer Act, which is saying, hey, whatever you give them, we're going to get too. So there's all sorts of stuff going on. There's multiple bills happening. It's all different lobbyist groups. You have the craft beer lobbyers over here. You have the big macro lobbyers over there. And you've got other people who actually represent both together. So it's a gigantic muddled mess, and there's all sorts of bills in the House. And that's just on the federal level. And then in the states as well, you have all these competing bills going on. Even in Florida, they reintroduced the 64-ounce growler bill as a straight-up bill, and that's already had so many riders attached to it that it's going to end up dying again, most likely. But Congress is involved, and you have a lot of money in individual states. There's big fights brewing, I think it's in Kentucky now and in a couple of other states, between distribution rights. Like Bud owns a lot of the distribution as well as the beer there. So, but this article just kind of touches on a lot of bases, but there's just so much going on. I'm going to be kind of diving into this myself and writing up an article for our blog in the next week or two, because there's so many like interwoven battles going on in all the different states and now it's hitting the federal level where they're starting to get involved there as well.
We're going through it in Arizona right now.
Sure.
Yeah, touch on that a little bit, Dan. Tell us about the bill. Did something just come out of committee, or did it get passed?
So in Arizona, we have a cap on production at 40,000 barrels a year, which they've raised it twice already over the last 8 years. Right now, there's two competing bills. One bill, SB 1030, is backed by all 57 local Arizona breweries, members of the guild. It's the one that we're pushing for. But the wine and spirits wholesalers don't want to lose the market that craft beer is gaining. So they are sponsoring their own bill, which has zero backing from any of the breweries that it's supposed to be benefiting. However, they're pressing forward with it. This past Monday, we had the privilege of going to the state capitol building, holding a rally. Every brewery from Arizona was represented. It was amazing. Over 300, 400 people were there. We all packed inside the Senate building for the committee presentation. Over 2 hours of testimony was given. Eventually, our bill was passed through committee, so it's going on to the Senate. The opposition's bill was pulled from vote because they knew they weren't going to get enough votes and their bill was going to get killed.
Yay!
Yeah, so that's a good day for Arizona craft beer.
Absolutely.
And
Round one
and it seems like you could go to every state and talk to people and find that they're making marginal improvements, or I guess unless you live in St. Louis, where the lobbying money maybe runs a little deeper than other places, you might have some trouble there. But there again, you can't change every law overnight. You make marginal improvements and you move along with it. So that's great news.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a little bit of that. Craft brewery is not only the jobs they create on the brewery, even if you create like 4 or 5 jobs there, but then you have the salesperson, but you have the touristic side too. I mean, the craft beer tourism is growing in a crazy pace, actually faster than the breweries are growing itself. We're like, I think there's some place to read is that 7.5, some place even say 90% of craft beer in the U.S. now. But if you compare that to the amount of people actually drinking craft beer, people are driving across state lines, like sometimes 2-3 states just to get to a festival and things like that. And that's money coming to your area. How many AB and Bev plants can you put in your state, right? But you can have a lot of craft breweries that can bring people in.
Well, I think there was an article, or it was an article, it was a video, the Sam Calagione video. I think it was yesterday or the day before. He was talking about when Dogfish Head first started, that there was 1 brewery opening per week 20 years ago, and now there's 1.5 breweries opening per day.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And in his case, when he first opened Dogfish Head, breweries weren't even legal in Delaware. So he's like getting set up. He had to go to the state house and basically help them write the law so that he could open his brewery. So
yeah, I forget how many he said in that video, how many breweries there were 20 years ago. I don't remember if it was 600 or 900, but now there's over 3,000 in 20 years.
Yeah, on his case, he was hanging the sign when luckily somebody who knows the laws on the state drove by and kind of stop and back it up and came talk to him and say, "Oh,
but
I think you can't open."
I just want to say that, I mean, with all as economy centric as we are today, how we're all about creating jobs and making sure the economy gets going. It's refreshing to see the wheels in motion to try to get so many laws changed around craft beer, because that's a huge economic opportunity for a lot of areas. But at the same time, it's painful to see so many laws that still exist and the battle that craft beer still has to face from big beer, and because big beers, although they claim they aren't afraid of craft beer, they keep trying to stifle craft beer time after time after time again. So I mean, we can only hope. Go ahead, Dan.
Well, I was just going to say, I think they're very afraid of craft beer. That's why they keep going out and buying other craft breweries.
Yep, absolutely, and making commercials.
I still think I kind of disagree with that. I don't know if they're necessarily scared of craft breweries. I think they're just more in it to make more money. And so if you buy more craft breweries, you're going to get more revenue from your product, as well as the people that are buying that craft beer product.
Well, if you're a publicly traded company and you have a board to answer to, and the studies come out saying that beer drinking as a whole has been declining, but craft beer drinking has been increasing, that means that you're losing market share. And if you're losing market share, then you're not maximizing you're essentially losing profit. So when you're trying to please that board, that makes a difference.
I guess looking at both ways kind of makes sense both ways. I mean, yeah, theirs are declining, and if you buy up the competition, you're buying up their sales as well as, getting your own sales too.
They're also, I mean, Budweiser, AB InBev, they own hop farms as well now too, so they're getting involved in every part of that process of beer. Whether it's their beer, craft beer, they're making money off of it all somehow.
You definitely want to invest in a growing market.
Sure.
So, if they're making more money next year than they were last year, then let's buy into it and take advantage of some of that growth.
Yeah, and if they are able to have the finances and the infrastructure to double the hop growth in the country, that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Right.
I'll tell you what, as a consumer, and I do this as a hobby, it's something that I love, I'm really getting tired of this whole thing. And I know I should be more involved but it is tiring when every other day you have something like that going on. somebody buying or people or other breweries suing each other. It's I'm getting tired of this whole court news every other day. I want to read about good beer and that's it.
Well, let's read about the growth market from the positive side, and that is our next segment, and that is that they're hiring in places. So, the market is growing and they're adding jobs, and let's take advantage of that. This week, our job of the week, brought to us by craftbeveragejobs.com, is a listing that they've got there from Stone Brewing Company. They are hiring a brewery national accounts manager. Everybody but Dan Choiniere is permitted to apply. So, you have to stay right where you're at, Dan. The owner said you weren't allowed to come on air if I was going to try and shop you out there. But
sorry about that.
If you live in LA or want to live in LA, they're hiring a national accounts manager that will develop, guide, and maintain strong account-specific business relationships with major chain customers throughout the U.S. They want these guys to work with distribution in the retail markets, and basically just exactly what you think a national accounts manager would do. So check out craftbeveragejobs.com. You will see this listing among many other. They've got a really cool thing on that site. It breaks it down by jobs by state. So, you don't have to move to LA. You can look at the jobs that they've got listed in your own area. I looked today. I live in Virginia. There's a couple of interesting jobs there. There's an IT job that Deschutes is hiring a database manager. That kind of sticks out there for me, the IT guy. So check out craftbeveragejobs.com and be part of the movement. All right. The next thing on here is the review of the week. And has anybody had this, the hibiscity, the stochasticity, somebody help me say that.
Stochasticity, hibiscusity.
Stochasticity, hibiscusity, high viscosity. I don't know. It's a hibiscus flavored beer or added beer. And one of the great guys on Google Plus, Jeff Gutierrez, who posts a lot of reviews, actually. I like reading his stuff. He posted a review of this beer, and he says, aromas of the hibiscus and citrus, orange and tropical fruit-like. Now, this isn't the aroma. It almost smells like I need to put an umbrella in this beer. There are some slight biscuit malts that play in the background. Flavors really follow the nose, although it's much less fruity tasting than my nose predicted. The hibiscus and citrus notes are present throughout, but there's a tart berry-like flavoring that is balanced out by some moderately bitter floral hops. Very interesting. Overall, he says it's a very unique beer and one that I could see enjoying this out on the stoop in the hot summer sun. I'll have to put it on ice though, in this beer until summer when I'll gladly grab another bomber. So he's thinking about summer beers. I'm thinking about summer beers because I've got this Kolsch style ale, the Gold Road from Mother Road. So what did you guys think about that hibiscity?
I actually did a review, and there's a review posted on craftbeernation.org about that beer as well, written by yours truly.
Randy Gardner Jr. review on the Stonehead. I should have read your review. Why wouldn't I plug our own? craftbeernation.org.
Now, here's a question about the beer, though. Since stochastic is something that happens randomly, do they do something random every year they launch that? Is that how they're going to do it? Or
it's not just every year. It's every couple of months. They've done 4 or 5 of them already. So
what's the random factor that they put in a beer?
I don't know that it's something random that they put in the beer, but they just come out. There's no constant thread between all these beers that come out in this line. The first one was like a grapefruit IPA. The second one was like a barrel aged blonde. Then they had a quad. Then they had this one right here, and I just pronounced it. Can't pronounce it. Then they had Master of Disguise. So I mean, there's no running thread. It's totally. Yeah. Just whatever they feel like. It seems like whatever they feel like making.
I think it's their experimental line,
right,
where they get to flex their muscles and do things that are off the beaten path. The Golden Stout that they just did.
Yeah, they get to flex their muscles with a national distribution. we just tried this, and here it is in 48 states. That's awesome.
That golden stout was legit too.
Yeah, because to be sarcastic, something random has to happen there. Otherwise, it's not.
I promise to not highlight any reviews next week that have words we can't pronounce.
Yeah. He's sarcastic. There you go.
Sarcastic. There we go. Other beer releases of note: Dogfish Head. We talked a little bit about them. They've got 48-minute IPA coming out. That's a fundraising beer for Rock On Foundation. Comes out today, the 12th. Coronado's got Skull Wrapper IPA. It says, and this is a quote, "Hopped to hell." Tomorrow, Friday the 13th. Weyerbacher's got Sunday Morning Stout, a barrel-aged stout, blended today and being released in a couple of weeks. Hoppin' Frog out of Akron has got Turbo Shandy. I guess that's probably an early spring release. Citrus Ale coming out next week. Victory in Pennsylvania has got Deep Cocoa, a chocolate porter, 8% chocolate porter, coming out next week.
That's a big porter.
Yeah, Victory hits them out of the park for me. They really do a great job. Boulevard also does a fantastic job. They've got Coffee Stout X. I think we've talked about this one before. It's out now. It's an Imperial Stout for their Smoked Stack series. Mother Road, you got a little something coming out here next week. What's that, Dan?
We just launched our spring seasonal White Walls. White Walls is an extra pale IPA. We don't call it a white IPA because there's no Belgian yeast. There's no wheat in the beer. This year it was brewed with Pilsner malt, and then the hops give it some grapefruit notes. So that just released. Yeah.
And when does Spring Batch Farmhouse come out?
Spring Batch Farmhouse. We haven't done a farmhouse ale.
That was on your website.
Oh, there's another Mother Road in Springfield, Missouri?
There's a Mother's Brewing Company.
All right, we got some bad intel here. All right.
Maybe I got the wrong brewery. That's fine.
Moving on. Fatheads in Middleburg Heights. Fatheads in
friends
Ohio.
with them, though. We're good friends with them.
Yeah, apparently so, because I'm...
Stats were
They're
going
on
to get me
Route
wrong.
66 as well.
Fatheads in Ohio has got Hopped Juju, an Imperial IPA coming out tomorrow. Festivals-wise, Ashley's Belgian Beer Festival in Westland, Michigan. I've made many jokes about it the last couple of weeks. I hope you folks in Michigan go out and have a good time at this festival. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of great Michigan beers. Michigan is a great place for craft beer these days. Cincinnati Beer Week in Cincinnati, Ohio starts tomorrow, runs through next week. I guess since it's a whole week, you can kind of expect that. San Francisco Beer Week is San Francisco Bay area. That's wrapping up this weekend, so go out there if you see Kim Jordan. Tell her we said hello. She said she's going to be out there at many of those events or some of those events. Arizona Beer Week, all over the state of Arizona. Just basically go to the website and find out where all the cool stuff is. Going to be some bunch of one-off kegs here and there. That's going on starting today. Goes on for next week and a half.
Yep, 10 days.
10 days, so it's Arizona Beer Week and a half. And then Beer, Bourbon, and Barbecue Festival in Tampa, Florida on Saturday. So if you're in Tampa, beer, bourbon, and barbecue sounds like three pretty great things to wrap all together if you're in Florida. So those are the festivals. Anything else you guys want to add festival-wise?
I think there's I think Brewhouse coming up, something like that, at the end of this month in Charleston, South Carolina.
Oh yeah,
he's gonna talk about Revival every week until it's time to go.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad he puts it on there because I'm glad he puts it on there because it's not on my list of things to read. So let's talk about next week. Next week we've got Santa Fe Brewing coming back on the show. We've done a couple of things with them, and Max Otwell is going to be on. I don't know who else is coming, but Max Otwell is a good friend of ours. He's going to be on the show, and some other folks. And that is next Thursday night, Santa Fe Brewing Company. Until then, everybody, check out craftbeernation.org. That's the website. And check out our sponsor, craftbeveragejobs.com, to get hired into this fun industry, because all we do is just kibitz. We just look on here. Well, some of us work in it. Victoria's pouring at a festival date here this weekend, too. So so everybody's having a good...
I just volunteer.
Well, that's right. But you get paid in beer, right? So
Yep, Dan hooks it up.
A job's a job. So enjoy. Thanks, Dan, for your time this week, everybody. Until next week, find some good friends. Find some great beer. And mind those P's and Q's.
This has been Pints and Quarts, brought to you by Craft Beer Nation. You can show your support for our podcast by subscribing to our content on YouTube, Stitcher, iTunes, or our website, craftbeernation.org. Thanks for listening.